Hey guys, welcome to the AskGwent Meta prediction. We made a tier list of decks we think will do quite well in the current patch. Keep in mind that these decks are more of an archetypes than refined versions, as it is impossible to guess how exactly they will look like in few days. We believe that this list should represent a possible composition of ladder until more refined decks come up in about 2 days. We've rated the decks with two different measures, as you can see under the lists. Strength is a power potential of a deck. Decks with higher strength rating can easily achieve high value and are less depending on the starting hand. Decks with lower strength are more inconsistent and easier to disrupt. If a deck is too inconsistent and requires too many cards in the opening hand to pull off its combo, it's going to have a low strength rating. For example, Consume or Dwarf decks have little to no cycle. Also, some decks are too easy to counter, like Queen's Guard can be disrupted with Graveyard Manipulation. Viability is how likely it is for a deck to appear in a stable version in meta. Deck with low viability can only be present in specific meta states. Deck with high viability is going to be one so powerful or too difficult to counter that it will be present anyway. It's too early to tell how the meta will look exactly, which makes stacking harder overall. We are going to make a more detailed post with refined decks later on. We also have two example tier lists to explain how to navigate those based on earlier patch meta. First example is early weather update patch, just after Araka's Behemoth Consume deck got countered by standard Krach. And so the Krach deck became the oppressor. After few days, several high-ranking monster players started using Consume Fog Hybrid to counter it with high success. You can see here that we consider Consume Dagon and Axeman Skellige as tier 1 decks, as they were doing very well in a matchup against early versions of Morkvar Krach. Tier 2 decks are, for example, Queen's Guard and Machine Foltest, as those decks weren't amazing in the meta, but they still maintained a quite high win rate. After meta shifted, Consume Dagon and a new version of Axeman started dominating. Krach lists started adding Raging Berserkers as a tech choice against majority of ladder, the two decks previously mentioned by me. As you can see, we consider the Krach deck tier 1, as it was doing exceptionally well against them. The new decks that appeared, for example Northern Realm Zerglings and Dwarf Hybrid, are considered tier 2, as again, those decks were doing just fine. The three predicted meta tier lists are built in the same manner as those example ones. Decks are placed in order from the best and most powerful counters in tier 1 to the archetypes that would have a difficult time maintaining a decent win rate in tier 3. You can find all the lists in the video description. We appreciate all the feedback. You can find us in AskGwent Discord server, invite below. Thank you for watching.